pregnancies and all of that
Oh,
stuff. All right, we are back live on the air. Tell me your name again.
I'm Simone.
All right, so we are coming back in live. We just finished broadcasting for 2 hours in the prior video, and I told you all to refresh and come back because I don't like to broadcast for more than 2 hours. But there were still things that were left on the table unsaid. We were on the line with Simone, who was talking about, the situation with her baby daddies and what she went through. So on the last episode, there was no topic. We just came in and we were free balling it, literally, because we
Right.
had some people with some free balls calling in and telling us a thing or two. Right? So somebody saying they can't see me.
Yeah.
Ask Ava to refresh. If you can't see me, refresh, because we are here. So we started talking about sperm donors, real ones, literally, figuratively. We started talking about how to just get yourself some sperm if that's all you want. Listen, I can't believe this video is not going to be monetized. It's not going to be monetized. It's not. This video is done. It's done. It's done. But what we are, so listen, we were talking about how if you just want to have the baby, take responsibility and do what you got to do, right?
Right.
And then that guy was talking about how taking a man into a hotel room, it promotes rape culture. But I also said take a rapid HIV test too. So by the time a person is doing all of that, they already know what the deal is. Listen. So Simone is on the line, and so Simone, you were calling in. You said that you had two children, two sons,
Yes.
and that you had your first son
Yes.
at 19, your second one at 23, and you just don't really have a good relationship with the baby daddies. So, what is it that you wanted
Yeah.
to express?
Well, what the thing that I was thinking about was that I had realized early on that they were not going to be there like I wanted them to be there.
Yeah.
And I ended up having this conversation with a random girl, but I was just like, you have to have uncomfortable conversations with your kids. And I want to say, especially even with your sons, if you don't have that, that male figure that will jump in and be that for them, you can be that person that talks to them about what's going to happen with them. And, well, do your research. I did that. I had to research what would happen with boys,
Oh,
puberty,
yeah. They want to know if the pregnancies were
so that
planned. I don't think the one at 19 was planned. Was the one at 23 planned?
no,
Okay, so no.
no, it was not. And yeah, at this point, I'm done. But it would have been nice to have that where, like, you know what, let's get pregnant. Like, no, I didn't. It was just like, yeah, you are. So what are you gonna do?
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, and I have had abortions. Um, but I will say that I'm so thankful for my sons. It was a journey, and I'm sure it's gonna be, more stuff to come. But they are like they're amazing, respectful, open-minded, accepting. You know, you can't you can't act like your kids don't know about certain topics.
Mm-hmm.
Just speak. I mean, people act really ignorant about the things their kids see or don't see,
Mm-hmm.
um, like with drugs or like alcohol or like having these open conversations with them. Even with like sexual assault, I've been had these conversations with my kids.
Okay.
Still have conversations with my sons about consent and women saying no and like yeah, so like some people they might have kids and they feel uncomfortable. They're like, oh, I don't want to have these. Oh, my son's not like that. Okay, well, make sure you got to talk about these things. So that's what, like, if you are taking that upon yourself to say, I'm going to raise this child, I'm going to have this child despite what I know this man is, or he might have other babies' mamas, which is the case with me as
Mm-hmm.
well. And also sometimes you gotta have a relationship with those kids' moms.
Oh, yeah.
Um, just so the kids can have some type of relationship. And I will say that in the beginning, me and one of the kids' moms did not have a good relationship. We argued and fussed, and now we are on good terms. I won't say we're friends, but our kids know each other, and it was at no, it was not none at all by their father.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, yeah, it's difficult, but it's rewarding, especially when you do it right and you listen to your kids. And
yeah, but is there any right
yeah.
way? Is there any right way? You know, it's like life happens. Is there any right way, though?
See, yep, that's right. No, there isn't.
You know, it's like
It's
I
really
have
not.
seen, I have seen people,
And that's the scary part too.
I've seen people on paper do all the right things, and their kids still, you know, end up in just issues. And then I've seen people
Right.
who all the odds seem to be against them, and now they got big grown kids, and they are on their second wind. You know. So you know what?
And
I appreciate you
'cause,
calling
like,
in. What's the final thought that you want to express?
I'll just say this, like because my oldest, he's 15. I'll say that I have guy friends, I've dated guys, and they've always said like, wow, your son is really good. Your kids, your boys are really respectful. And I've gotten many comments that act like it's a surprising thing. But it's like, I will also say I have had therapy because I had a lot to deal with as a child.
Okay.
But it's a thing where you got to respect the process. You got to do what feels right.
Yeah.
And you got to do what's in the best interest of your child.
Yeah. And I have
yeah.
a question because you said
their father will never help.
I have a question because you said that you had abortions, multiple, right?
Yes.
And so even though you had the courage to terminate a pregnancy that you knew you didn't want to go full term, what was it that made you decide to go with the pregnancies that you did go with versus the ones that you didn't?
And, you know, that's a weird story because the first one I had was right when we had first got together with my second child's father, and I just wasn't ready.
You just wasn't ready for
just like
the baby or an abortion, or?
I wasn't ready for the second baby.
Oh, because you two had just got
together.
Oh.
You know, I had been a single mom of my oldest.
But what was it that made you decide to go full term with the pregnancy?
What made me, it was nothing more than a feeling deep inside me, and that's what I'll just say for me. Okay. Like when I wanted to terminate the pregnancy, I was very, very heartbroken. I cried and cried and cried. I was very, I'll say I was embarrassed because in the office I cried so much, and nobody else was crying, and I thought that was so weird. That was my first experience. And when I got pregnant again, right, it was like 4 months later, and my feeling had completely changed. I just felt like this was meant to be.
Oh.
I didn't have any of that.
Was it a different person
that
or the
I
same
had
person?
Previously. Was it
a different person or the same person?
No, it was the same person. The relationship hadn't gotten any better, but it was just a feeling that I was so like more at ease with it.
How interesting.
And so I went through with that one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. People want to know what type of birth control you used.
I was using pills.
And it just wasn't working?
And actually, when I found out that I was pregnant that second time where I said I was at ease with it, I was 2 months, I was about 2.5 months pregnant at the time. I had been taking my pills, and I hadn't gotten my period, like, like, not that I hadn't gotten, it was regular.
Oh, okay.
So I was so shocked, and so it's like, yeah, it's weird how our bodies can react differently to different things. But yeah, I was on birth control. I will say no, I wasn't taking it like, sometimes I would miss a day and take a couple because, they would say you gotta, but
That's what someone is asking. Okay. All right.
But yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Thank you so much for calling in and sharing your story with us. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Have a great night.
Okay, good night. All right. So listen. Oh, you're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Hey, Tonya. My name is Stephanie.
Your name is what?
Can you hear me?
It's going in and out. What did you say your name was?
Stephanie.
Oh, hi, Stephanie. So what's your comment this evening?
My comment this evening is being promiscuous is the reason why we're in this situation that we're in, honestly. We need to control our hormones so that men can value us more. We value too many men at just their dick. The black women want dick. We want dick so much, and it's so sad. Excuse my word, penis. We value men sexually too much. Like, honestly, black men, they have the best sex. I can't deny that. I've had, I've dated outside of my race a few times, but honestly and wholeheartedly, black men know how to deliver. But we value them too much on dick, and we need to value men at more than just their dick. That way we don't give it to them, because that will force them to have to be provided. Like, you would have to come to me more than just dick. If I see you at just dick, then you're going to bring me just dick. If I value more than dick, you're going to bring me more than dick. If I don't want sex from you, but you want me, you're going to have to come with me. You're going to have to come to me with what it is that I am wanting from you. Like, so many of us get stuck with bum-ass dudes, but we love them, and we sleep with them, and then we get pregnant by them, and it isn't right. Like, you love this person, and you love having sex with this person, but what more is it that this person is going to provide? And if you get pregnant, what else is this person going to provide?
Do you have children yet?
No. No.
Have you had abortions?
No, I've never had an abortion.
So how have you stopped yourself from becoming pregnant over the years? Well, how old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay, how have you stopped yourself from becoming pregnant over the years?
Well, first and foremost, condoms, and secondly, I sleep with one. Like, I've been dating the same guy for 3 years, almost 4 years now, and I know that he if I allowed him to get me pregnant, he would get me pregnant. But I control my body in the sense that I'm not going to allow you to just make me your baby mama. Like, that isn't something that I want. Like,
people are asking, where's the ring, sis? Do you even want to get married?
No, we're not married yet.
No, do you want to get married?
Oh yeah, we've had our ups and downs, and honestly, it's just like, at this point, it's like, he's a provider. Don't get me wrong. Like, he provides for me. I don't bring anything to the table, honestly and wholeheartedly. I don't bring shit to the table other than my feminine energy, which is a lot. I honestly know what it is that I provide. It's a lot. Like, I cook, I clean, I do everything in between, and I know that as of right now, we've been discussing marriage because it's about that time. Like, we've been, like I said, we've had our ups and downs, but it's time to settle down and shit or get off the pot. And I've expressed it like, it should get off the pot time, because my clock is ticking. I need to be married prior to having a child. He knows that I'm not having a child without marriage. It isn't going to work like that. We can't just pop out a kid. But the one time that I could have been pregnant, he knew that he didn't, pull out. And he told me the next morning, and I personally, like, I'm not buying. And at the time, like, I was working at the time, and I made great money. But my thing is, if you knew what you did, you gotta buy me a plan B. Like, I'm not keeping it. I'm sorry, I'm not keeping it. Like, plan A didn't work, so time for plan B. But he's a great provider, and
I'm concerned is that you said you don't bring nothing to the table, and you're being honest about that.
Oh no, in regards to finances, I don't bring anything to the table. He brings everything to the table for me, like in regards to finances. When it comes to everything else, he doesn't have to lift a finger. And that he likes not lifting a finger, and I like not working.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm only repeating your words. You said you don't bring anything to the table. Those are your words.
But I did follow it by, I did say I don't bring anything to the table, but then I did say that I bring my feminine energy, and I do everything around the house.
I mean, but it took that wasn't the first instinct, but I ain't gonna drag it. It's okay. It's all right. Yeah. Just know that you do bring something to the table, and when you do tell the story, at least say that you do. But listen, I appreciate you coming through and leaving your comment. Okay, have a great rest of your evening.
You too, Tonya.
All right.
All right.
Oh wait, hello. Oh, she's gone. She hung up. Maybe you all can ask her in the comments, why hasn't she gotten married yet if she wants to be married and he's a great provider? That is a good question. All right. So, you are on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Faye. I just want to say first off, I'm very excited to be on your show, and I watch you all the time.
Hey, Faye. Welcome. I love that name, Faye.
Yes, I was in the chat. I don't know if you saw the username Lady Shade 92. I made a few comments here and there.
Oh, no, I only get a chance to see very few comments because they move by so quickly when there's hundreds of people in the room. But I'm trying my best. I catch only few of them. The best way to get your comment seen is to have some emoji or something in it that's attention drawing that makes it stand out.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead, Faye. What's your comment?
Well, I don't know if you're still doing like the rant and rave, but I know that the subject changed and you're talking about like baby daddies and stuff.
We're talking about babies, pregnancy, fertility, family planning, abortions. We're talking about it all. Adopting, sperm bank, going to the STEM conference in Seattle and pulling a little nerd into your room and walking up punny. Yeah, we're talking about a lot.
Okay, and I wanted to like provide like a different perspective because I think like I probably have like a unique situation concerning like the nerd thing and then the whole like pregnancy and stuff like that. I have a different view on it because of my personal upbringing.
Okay, so go ahead. Let's hear, Faye.
Yes. Well, my mother was a teen mom. My dad was a teen dad. My mom had me when she was 13 years of age, and my father was 15 when I was born.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm 27 now, and I do have a child of my own, and she's 5 years old.
Wow. So your mother is like 40.
Yes, she's 39.
Can you imagine that? 27 and your mother is 39. I bet you two look very much alike.
Yeah, we got some similar features.
Okay, well, go ahead. So what's the crux of your comment?
Well, I wanted to talk about how the previous chick said something about Black women being promiscuous. That kind of struck a nerve with me because I disagree with that. Or even if it is about promiscuity, where does promiscuity come from? It comes from low self-esteem. A lot of people do not want to talk about the families that these teen parents come from, that these promiscuous people come from. They don't want to talk about the abuse that comes from. They don't want to talk about these people trying to find love or trying to find some way to feel good in the wrong types of pussy. When a child is deprived of love or they need attention, they're going to go through these unhealthy ways or any type of way to go and get that.
Yeah. So that is true. That is true. So you all hear that? She's talking about the trauma and the reasons that people go out. I don't think she said the word promiscuous, but I do think she did say that we are having intercourse and that's why we're having children.
And I mean, I agree with that, but I also don't believe that basically what that previous woman was saying was that we're like dick crazy. Basically, people are whipped, and that's why they keep on doing that.
That wasn't what I heard. That wasn't what I heard. I didn't hear that. Did anybody else hear that the last caller said that black women are promiscuous? Because I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that. She did say that? I didn't catch that. I didn't hear that.
Yes, she said like black women are obsessed about dick. She said promiscuity. I personally heard that.
Wow,
so.
That's so interesting. It's like people can be in the same conversation and like how she's triggered by that, and then I didn't even hear it. You know what I mean? That's so interesting. So people are saying that she did even use the word promiscuous. I did not hear that at all. But the fact that you're triggered by that really is about you. Why does the word promiscuous trigger you?
I guess because in my case, I thought about children. I don't feel like adults are 100%. I don't feel like that comes from promiscuity. I don't really feel like that. Well, the way that she was framing it, maybe that's just how I took it. I don't feel that 100% that's from being crazy, just wanting dick. A lot of times people, when they're in lust, what they really are craving is intimacy, attention, to feel good. I don't think that's like part of the Jezebel spirit, how like some people would frame that as.
Got you. Okay. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate that. Do you feel that you were promiscuous when you were younger?
No, I don't think so, but that's because of my upbringing. Because my mother was a teen mom, she kept trying to typecast me in that, and I believe that came out of fear.
So she tried to call
not
you?
Really be interested.
Wait, your mother called you promiscuous?
She would typecast me as that, and because of the type of person that I am, I rebelled against that. I'm not that. I'm not you, Mom. So I'm not going to go out and get that. That's something that I personally crave. I don't have the same self-esteem problems that my mother had.
So your mother was promiscuous?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this is making a lot more sense. So your mother was promiscuous. She got pregnant at 13. Your father was 15. She decided to have the baby, have you. You grew up. And then your mother tried to typecast you as promiscuous. And you rebelled against that. So now when a caller calls in and says, oh, black girls are promiscuous, you get triggered and you call in and you say, well, no, that's not my experience because I rebelled against that typecasting.
Yes.
Okay. And so your mother, she was looking for love.
Yes, because my grandmother was very abusive. She dealt with abusive men, pedophiles, all types of, like I said, it's a lot of trauma. And when the previous caller said promiscuous, that struck a chord because that type of thinking is dangerous to black women, to young girls growing up. That puts them in a bad space.
I mean, promiscuous is just a word. It's just a word. It's a word. We assign our feelings onto it. So just so I can understand, your grandmother dealt with pedophiles. So your mother was sexually assaulted.
Yes, there was a couple of times where she's even stabbed some of the suitors of my grandmother because they tried to touch them, touch my mother and my aunties, her sisters.
Okay, so you're saying that your mother wasn't necessarily promiscuous. She was just kind of looking for love.
Yes. She also had my brother at the age of 15. So I personally wasn't planned, but it happened again because my mom had low self-esteem, because she thought that things were going to work out with my father, which it wasn't. He came from an abusive household too. But basically what I'm saying is promiscuity, I kind of feel like it's a blanket statement. And like I said, that might just be how I took it, and it might be personal trauma that I broke the cycle of.
Right.
But I'm just saying that type of thing is dangerous. I've seen so many cases. I have so many friends whose mothers, whose dads even called them whores, promiscuous. You know, they're out there in the streets and, you know, they get kicked out. Or it's a lot of women who they're jealous of their daughters. They will accuse their daughter of trying to seduce their man versus actually checking the man who they are with.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? I think, what is the definition of promiscuous? What is the definition of it?
Well, to me personally, I believe that promiscuity is looking for love in sexual gratification. Or I won't even say love. I just think promiscuity is just about sexual gratification.
Okay, so you think there's gratification in promiscuity?
Temporarily, not 100%, but I believe
Okay.
that's the surface of it. I believe that's the intent of it.
Okay, so I'll ask you all in the audience, what is the definition of promiscuous? Because for me, what promiscuous means to me is having intercourse with a lot of different people, right?
Right.
Okay, that's what the definition means to me, having intercourse with a lot of different people. People are saying sleeping around with different men, sleeping around, sexual recklessness. Okay, so is it true or untrue that your mother was promiscuous?
Yes, later in life, but I won't say that she was promiscuous as a teenager.
Okay, right, but the thing is that it's a word that describes actions that are true for your mother.
Yes, and what I'm saying is they weren't true when she was a teenager, but they were true later on in life. I've observed like a lot of different things.
Okay, but the thing that I'm trying to understand is, why are we triggered by a word that describes actions that are true for the scenario?
They were true not for that scenario, but for things that I noticed later on in life. And to people in the comments, I'm seeing some people are saying like, I need counseling and stuff like that. I've been to counseling. I haven't repeated the trauma. I haven't repeated the mistakes of my mother. Because I watched what my mother went through, I decided that I wanted to be different.
Okay, do you think it's true that there are Black women out there who are promiscuous?
Yes,
Okay.
but I'm more so, I don't feel like all of them are like that. I don't feel like it comes from being dick crazy, from being whipped, from being starved, from just being like wanting to be underneath a man. I'm looking at
right, but this is the issue. I don't remember her saying all. I could be wrong because I didn't even hear the word promiscuous, right? But she called in with her point of view, right, about how she felt and sees the world. I'm confused as to why it's triggering to us how another person views the world through her own lens, based on her own experiences and points of view. Why is that triggering for us, that she has an opinion that's different than ours? It's okay that you have a different opinion, but when somebody else's opinion causes you to feel triggered, that's what we need to look at. Like, why are you feeling triggered by another person's opinion that to her is true, that for other people is true and that for other people is false. Because I'm sure she didn't say all Black women are and all they care about in all. She said probably a blanket statement lumping people together on an average of whatever it is the thought that's inside of her mind for a word that does describe some people's actions.
Okay, well, number one, I will say this. I don't believe that I am triggered. I just believe that invokes a response. To me personally, because of the way that I grew up.
I'm so sorry to cut you off. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me for using the word triggered because I'm only repeating what I thought I heard you say. When you called in, you said that you were triggered. And that's the only reason why
Okay,
I'm using
well,
the word triggered.
Triggered to me means like invoking a response. I don't feel exactly sensitive about it. I don't feel hurt about it. It just made me, I felt passionate about it. I used the wrong word, so that is an error on my part.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling in. We really appreciate your point of view.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Have a good night. All right, phone lines are open, 323-488-3149. Right now, we're talking about all things pregnancy, sex, baby daddy, fertility related. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Hi, this is Ivana. Can you hear me okay?
Hey, Ivana, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I definitely am into the topic. So basically what I want to talk about is how I believe our community is very anti-abortion, and I understand why, but sometimes I think that people can get into a situation where having a child is just not the right choice for them. I've never been pregnant and I've never had an abortion, but I did have a best friend that got pregnant in college when she was 20.
Hold on for 1 second. Hold on. Best friend college pregnant when 20. Somebody is saying if she's triggered, let her. Black women should be able to express themselves. Yes, of course. You know, when we are triggered, right? When we're triggered, a response is evoked inside of us from a place of unhealedness, a place that is raw. And just like with any trigger, when you pull a trigger, the response can be volatile. So if there is a person who is hearing another person's point of view and feeling a volatility inside, that is something that person needs to look at because there's some unhealedness. When a person is triggered, that comes because the person is not healed. And there's something that somebody else is saying or doing which is causing an erratic response inside of them. And all I'm saying is take a look at it. I didn't tell her not to feel triggered. I just said, take a look, because that is something that is specific to the individual. Because so just like a person has a right to express their point of view, so there's a person who called in and said that she feels that some Black women are promiscuous and that's why there's so many issues going on. She has a right to express her opinion too. You know what I'm saying? So when we're triggered, that's for you personally to look into, because there's some things that trigger me. I don't do stories about domestic violence because domestic violence triggers me. It triggers me. I cannot be neutral when talking about domestic violence. You know what I mean? So I have to know what my triggers are. You got to know what your triggers are. And if you're being triggered by somebody else just talking, I get triggered when other people are being physically hurt, beat, and pummeled. That triggers me, especially defenseless women, children. It triggers me. However, if somebody is saying a word that has a definition, and the definition is true to describe the circumstance of many people's lives, how can we be triggered by a word that we know and acknowledge is true? And if we are triggered by it, what are we going to do so that we don't experience those triggers from a true word that we admit is true in our lives that we have seen? All right, so anyway, Ivana, go ahead. Let's breathe. So you said that you have somebody's going to get a bottle of Cabernet. So listen.
Someone in the comments says Ivana sounds like she has it 850 credit score.
You do sound like you have a high credit score. You do.
Why? Why?
You do. You sound very responsible, and you sound like you would judge.
Somebody said I'm turned.
Yes, and you sound like you would judge people who make reckless purchases. You sound like that type of person. So go ahead.
Reckless purchases? No, I'm too much of a saver. I'm trying to get
Exactly, as many of those 850 credit score people are. So nonetheless, go ahead. What's your credit score?
Okay.
What's your credit score?
They might have gotten me, Tonya, but I'm not trying to get,
Okay.
What is it? Fraud.
Okay, all right. So anyway, so you have a friend who's 20, and you were saying the story before I went off on the trigger rant. Go ahead.
That's fine. So yeah, I had a really close friend in college. She was 20 and she got pregnant.
You got to talk
And
louder.
she really didn't want to have the baby.
Mm-hmm.
The doctors, basically that she was dealing with, kept on saying that she should do the right thing and have the kid, and also the baby father was really, really pressuring her, but she really didn't want to do it. And I think that there's honestly, but then on the other side of that, there's a lot of, or on the same side of that, there's also a lot of guilt tripping that people go through.
Yeah.
So everyone was telling her that this was going to be the most amazing experience, and no one was sharing with her the hardships that came along with being a parent. I don't think that she totally regrets being a parent, especially now, but I know that it was really, really difficult for her, and I think that it changed her life.
So she went through with it because of the pressure?
She went through with it because of what? I'm sorry.
Because of the pressure?
Yeah, because of the pressure. And,
Wow.
she felt when she first had the babies within the first year, she just felt so overwhelmed. She kept on feeling like, she had really altered her future. At the time, the guy was really, really into her, and he was kind of like the guy that felt like this would be his opportunity to be able to be with her long term. But of course, as time went on, their relationship started to dissolve more and more because, at first it kind of seemed like she was out of his reach somewhat, and
then he got a trap with a baby.
Then
they trap forever.
Become complacent.
Yeah.
And I have two other people that are very close to me that actually had abortions, and it's so sad to me to see people that judge them for the hard decision that they had to make, and they're very successful in the spot in life that they're at now. And I just think that it's odd to me because I think that if the shoe was on the other foot and if men had the choice to decide, I don't think that it would really be a conversation because I think that so many men are so self-interested.
Yeah, exactly.
And we don't fault them for that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because we're womb holders and we're sensitive and soft, we allow all of these other alternative messages to come through, and we really need to just stand our ground, and we really need to get these men out of power. We got to get these men out of power, though, for real. I already told you about the future sperm farms.
Like an advice tip. I say you try to use I just switch from the pill to the patch, and I think it's a lot easier to remember for people that have a little bit of trouble remembering the pill. So that was.
You're sexually active, Ivana? Who are you having intercourse with?
I only have sex within relationships, but I do like to only have my period 4 times a year, so every 3 months. I set my birth control up like that. I was having sex with the boyfriends that I've had. I was with a person for 5 years, but you guys remember me talking about that person. I'm so glad that my mindset was able to shift. And then I was in a relationship for like 5 months. I guess it was like a corona relationship.
You were having intercourse during the Rona?
Now this person, they did want to be very serious about me, and I really liked them, but I think I shared this with you. I'm going to be moving to a different state here soon, so I guess they just felt like I may end up changing my mind about moving, and that I wasn't going to try to just be in the relationship for a shorter period of time. Yeah, it just wasn't the right thing.
So all you people out there
But
talking about the 800 credit score and all of that, this girl was having intercourse with some man during the pandemic. She wasn't sheltered in place.
Boyfriend, not a
How you got a boyfriend during Corona? It's only been 6 months of Corona, which means you knew this person for a month?
I met him on February 4th. We started dating a month later.
This is what I'm saying. And now you already broken up. You know what I'm saying? All right. Listen.
But I broke up with him because I had to follow my dreams. If I would have got on here and said, man, I really want to follow my dreams, but I don't know, because this guy that I've been with for 5 months that knew that I wanted to move wants me to stay with him. It would have been like, love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Look, I don't have any issue with intercourse. What I do have an issue with is you taking your nannikins out there and busting a wine on some man that you met during the damn pandemic. And then before the damn pandemic is over, you done tossed the dude aside.
I thought that we were going to be able to have a relationship outside of the pandemic.
We started talking about the Rona in January.
We were intensively dating for a month, going on dates all the time, going to a lot of different places. I went to like Dallas with this person, all types of stuff.
So you were going on weekend trips with him before? Hold the hell up. Excuse me? You were going on overnight trips with this man that you met?
No, Dallas in town, not overnight trips.
Oh. I thought you said you went to Dallas.
No, I wouldn't. No. Yeah, we did, but not like overnight. It was like balls and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
fundraisers, but not overnight. I mean, it'd be into the evening, but not overnight. Whoa.
Okay. All right, I'm just listening. I'm just trying to put the pieces together.
Even after he became my boyfriend, it's not like I had sex with him right away. You know, it was definitely a gradual.
Did this man even ever get a COVID test? Ever?
Yeah, he wanted.
Yeah, it took you a long time to answer that. It took too long to answer.
He wanted to get it sooner, but I was like, the accuracy isn't even that great, because I had heard like the accuracy wasn't that great.
Did you even get a COVID test and you over there swapping spit with this man?
I was in contact with them every single day. And on top of that, there was a time during the pandemic when it first began, the stage 1 or whatever we would consider it to be, where I didn't know if we were going to have to fight in a zombie apocalypse. I needed muscles and resources. So
Wait,
so you said out there alone. I don't know how to fight that well. He knows all types of jiu-jitsu, everything else.
So you started dating a person to protect you during the pandemic in case the zombies came out. You tell a good tale. Exactly. You tell a good tale.
I liked him, but on top of that, I didn't think it was smart to break up with him because the pandemic began. A week later, I'm like, well, this was perfect. This all, worked out.
Listen, I'm not judging you. I'm not judging. Yes, I am. I'm judging you because I wonder how you go out there to go bust a quick wine during the damn pandemic with some man who never had a COVID test. You didn't have a COVID test. And then you two were over there swapping spit and fluids.
If we had gotten a COVID test, what difference would it have made if we had been in contact with each other every single day?
You are not the only person he was in contact with.
Oh, that's okay. We were both working from home, so we were quarantined. I wasn't seeing even my family. He wasn't even seeing his family.
Okay. All right. More of the story is coming out because I know how you do, Ivana.
Yeah, we were working
you gotta play. You gotta play the great puzzle with you
till this day.
You all know those big puzzles with 1,000 pieces? That's what it's like talking to Ivana. And you got to see which piece fits where.
Oh my God. I'm not crazy, Tonya. Like, I didn't want to get sick. You know, I'm in the healthcare field, so I think...
Exactly. Those are the people who be feeling omnipotent.
Someone said, am I a Gemini? I'm a Leo, like Tonya.
Wait, when is your birthday?
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Mine is the 14th.
Oh, so it's 10 days after mine. Okay. That's how they call Hush Puppy, celebrating his birthday online.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. Maybe that's I'm sure why I like you so much. Well, another reason why.
Don't try to charm me now. Don't try to charm me. Now that I know you've been out there riding dirty. Yeah. Say now that you've been out there rolling around all pandemic.
Oh my God.
They want to know if you had
happy for me to have a corona day.
Listen, I want you to be safe because I don't want you to be up on my line coughing, talking about your head is hurting and your taste buds are numb. I just want you to be safe. That's it. And I don't know this guy.
I'm not in contact with him anymore because I'm moving. I'm actually more scared to move because, you know, being on the airplane.
I don't understand why. Okay, so when did you break up with him?
I broke up with him 2 months ago, or maybe it was a month.
These numbers ain't adding up. The numbers don't add up. The numbers are not adding up. No. Because the numbers are not adding up. Because we are 6 months from the shut-in right now. So you said you met him in February. You waited a month. And then you was with him for 5 months.
I was dating him for 5 months, but I was going out with him for 4 months.
You said you met him in February. You waited a month before you got with him. And then you dated for 5 months. Those numbers, and then you broke up with him 2 months ago. Those numbers don't add up. See what I'm saying about the puzzle pieces?
It was only a month ago then. We're at the end of August, though.
Thank you so much for calling in. Your call was very appreciated. Thank you so much. Go add up.
2 feet mixed up, and you're done with me.
Go add up 1 plus 5 minus 2 and see if you get 5. Come on now.
Sorry. Okay, it was a month ago. It was July. I remember it now.
Oh, you remember it now. Come off of my phone because there's a lot of stuff that you say that don't be true. It be true for you in the moment. And then you call back in and then it's a different story. Listen to her story right now. And then the next time that she calls in, ask the same numbers or ask the same information. And then the details will be different. She thinks she's slick.
Well, I will say to the people that are upset that I had a coronavirus, see in the comments, I probably should have just not even allowed him to pursue me when we were, before we were dating, because I should have just been focusing on my move. But I'm glad that
I understand that a woman
my early 20s, and now I'm in my mid 20s, so I can take everything in life more serious, I guess.
So over the course of 2 weeks, you done went from being in your early 20s to your mid 20s.
Yeah, I told people like now that I'm 24, I guess
you were 22 when we spoke earlier in the year. You were 22. Now you're how old?
22 last year in July. I was 23 this past year. Now I'm 24.
Oh, okay, so you're calling 24 mid 20s. Okay, listen, that's fine. Thank you so much for calling in.
Okay, thank you.
You have a good evening.
Thank you.
Listen, you all go buy your jumbo puzzle sets. And just put the pieces together because that's what you got to do there. You're on the air live. What's your name?
Nikki, hi, Tonya.
Hi, Nikki. You sound so serious. Talk to us. What is your comment this evening?
Hold on, I gotta walk back to my computer and turn down my YouTube 1 second.
Okay. Yes, Ivana is a sweetheart. Very much so. We love Ivana.
That was fun.
Oh. All right.
Well,
Tell us your name again. It slipped my mind. It came and went. What's your name?
Nikki.
Nikki. Okay, Nikki. So what's your comment this evening? We're talking about babies, prophylactics, adoption, baby daddies, pregnancies, everything in between.
Yeah, I wanted to just share my pregnancy, abortion, relationship experience, kind of just in summary, because I don't know if it's a point or a perspective, but just maybe somebody can take something from it.
Okay.
So the first time, I'm 37 now, my daughter is 20. I had her when I was 17. I got pregnant using a condom and on birth control.
Oh God, all of that. That baby was trying to come into this world.
You know what? She was ready, and I was just a vehicle, apparently.
Okay.
So the first time I ever got pregnant, I was 13.
Oh wow.
I was not sexually active. I was raped, and I didn't know I was pregnant. I kept getting my period. My mother didn't notice, and I didn't notice until I was almost 5 months pregnant.
Oh my God.
I live in Hawaii, and in 1996 or so, partial birth abortion was legal. And so I had a 2-day procedure where I stayed in the hospital. I went under general anesthesia and had an abortion at 5 months pregnant at 13 years old.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
Right after that, like I started being sexually active on my own at about 14 years old. It was just boyfriend, whatever. I don't know if it's, here and there, but when I was 16, I was dating a guy, and I was on Depo from when I was 13. When I had that first abortion, I never missed a shot of Depo since then.
Okay.
But when I got pregnant with my daughter at 17, having an abortion, even though I had already had an abortion, never crossed my mind. It wasn't even it just didn't even come into my head. She was just here, that was that, and I was fine with it. Even though I was 17, even though I was living on my own, even though all of these things, it was hard or whatever, but when I was 19, I got pregnant again from the same guy, and immediately decided to have an abortion.
Oh wow.
I felt no connection with the pregnancy. I felt no desire to raise or have another child, bring a child into the world. I was perfectly content with my daughter, and that was it. And having that first traumatic abortion experience really didn't have any bearing on my decision to have a second abortion, and it didn't really have any bearing on my decision to have my child.
Okay.
Now as an adult, my relationship with men and with sex is completely different than what I guess I would have expected it to be. I don't have an emotional connection to sex. Not impressed by men. I'm not, because I don't know if it has to do with my pregnancy experiences or not, but the fact that I had 2 abortions and have a child, I think kind of set me back from seeking out sex or being impressed by men who are trying to get sex.
Oh wow. What happened to the person who raped you when you were a child? Was this a family friend? What happened?
No, it was a guy that was just like, I was hanging out with some of my girlfriends in the apartment courtyard, and it was like late at night, and this guy came and just took advantage of the situation. And then, like, we don't know who he was or anything like that. Yeah. So.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my
goodness. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't ever want sympathy because it's made me who I am now. So.
No, it's not sympathy. It's really It's empathy. It's empathy.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we live in a world with so many broken parts, you know, like there's so many broken pieces that came together for that to happen. And I'm sorry.
Mhm.
And then also, you said that you don't feel a connection to sex right now. And I'm wondering if you've gotten any therapy. So I was first wondering whether or not there was justice served on the guy, but we don't know who he is. And I guess they didn't do any DNA swabs and put it through a database because that person is a predator that needs to be found.
Well, I did the rape kit and I filed a report and all of that, but they didn't, I guess it was too early to know if I was pregnant at the time they did the rape kit and everything. And then,
Right. But I'm saying
We
the
just didn't
DNA
know
from
after
the
that.
partial birth abortion, I'm sure they could have gotten DNA and ran it through the system. I mean, you were 13 years old, you know, so it's like you could not
Right.
consent, especially with that must have been traumatic. But have you had therapy?
I've been through therapy pretty consistently my entire life.
Okay.
Because I was sexually abused as a child, I was adopted, I've been through foster care, group homes, stuff, like, the storm that is my life should be a book. However,
Got you.
we come out on the other side.
How do you feel about being emotionally numb about sex? How do you feel about that?
I'm grateful for it. Because I feel like it eliminates a lot of emotional bullshit, a lot of trickery that's able to happen, a lot of, like, I'm not gullible to the tricks because I don't give a shit.
Okay.
You know?
Well,
I'm not impressed by the hoo-hoo of men.
I once learned many years ago that when we numb ourselves to pain, we also numb ourselves to pleasure. So, are you able to really feel deep satisfaction from sex?
Yes. I have a partner and we've been together kind of on and off casually for 7 years. I have only had sex with him for the last 7 years and it's great. The sex is great. However, if I didn't get sex, my life would still be full. And withholding sex from me in a relationship is not a viable form of punishment or control because I just don't care.
I don't think withholding sex from women is a good form of punishment. Not with all the toys they got out here.
Right.
But but you said that you feel this emotional disconnection, and if you're happy with the emotional disconnection and you feel that it is serving your life, and you feel that there's no dysfunction in that, then I have to say more power to you. But if you ever feel that the lack of connection and really not having high regard for men, etc., if you ever feel that it becomes a problem, then by all means, you know, therapy is available for you out there.
Right. I feel like my lack of focus on sex and finding sex, getting sex, keeping sex, any of it, allows me to focus more on deep connections with people, deep, honest, soulful connections with people that there's no pretense, there's no hidden agendas, I feel like it allows more room for those things.
Got you. So without having, okay. So with feeling the disconnect, you're able to then connect in other ways.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? Listen, you know what's working for your life and you know how you feel and you say that you're fulfilled. So more power to you, my dear. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great to talk to you, Tonya. Have a beautiful day.
You too. All right. So we're going to end the broadcast. All right. So that is that. Oh, there's a call coming through. You're on the air live with Tonya. Hello?
All right, so we're going to...
Hello?
Yes, hi. You're on the air. You're the last call of the evening. What's your name?
Oh, my name's Jackie.
Hi, Jackie. So what is your comment on all of this brouhaha we've been talking about?
Well, I haven't really heard it. I just kind of got on maybe like the last 10 minutes. And I saw what you said, all things BD and pregnancy. So I wanted to discuss about I have two children by two different men. Okay, so my first one, this was when I got pregnant when I was 18 years old, and I've had like so many issues with him, and I'm 34 now, and I'm still having issues with him.
Oh God,
we went to
that's
court.
too much.
I fought for my child for 3 years, even while I was expecting my other child. And he hasn't paid it. I ended up getting my child. Like I said, please be long-winded. But what I was saying is that I won the case, and I have not gotten any child support since then. Keep it in mind, he has 5 kids by 5 different women, which I didn't find out about that until after I had my son. So it was a really traumatic experience, but it's just been a crazy whirlwind, and I just want to forgive. Like, I want to move forward. Like, I'm over him and everything, but it's just I don't.
Well, you know, I have an MP3 on my website which will walk you through the process of forgiving. It's actually a hypnotherapeutic MP3 where you go into a relaxed state and you actually do the exercise and you're able to forgive and release.
Okay. And I'm not gonna, and I don't want to use the term forgive. Like, I don't hate him.
No.
It's just the fact that I'm trying to not be, not, because every time we run into each other, I know you don't pay bills. I mean, I know you don't help me supporting my son. You don't help him. You don't put him on your medical, anything like that. So it's like when we see each other, it's like I can't even make eye contact with him. Like, it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, forgiveness is for you, and it's not about hating another person. I'm telling you, I have an MP3 on my website. It's very powerful.
Okay, well, I'll utilize that here.
TonyaTKO.com/shop. It's right there. So, what's the crux of what it is that you wanted to express?
I didn't really. I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to see how I could deal with the situation. That was it. It had been bothering me for a really long time, and
really? Well, you know what? That resource is available for you. The resource is available for you. You said you don't want your son to what? I cut you off. Sorry.
No, I don't. I don't want him to think that I have like some animosity towards his dad, because we don't really interact with one another any longer. Got you.
Well, you know what? Like I said, the resource is available for you. If you have any questions about the MP3, you can contact me on my website, TonyaTKO.com, and just click on the contact button and you can send me a message. And there's a sample of the MP3 there, and it really works. It truly, truly works. It works to help you release, forgive, and allow that to evaporate from your life and leave in its space the feeling of wholeness, gratitude, just all of those amazing things. So it's forgiveness is for you, and it helps shift your life. And for those who don't have my book of affirmations, self-love, make sure that you go over to Amazon and get this. You just type in Tonya TKO, and the book is right there. This book, you just rewrite the affirmations, and it helps rewrite your subconscious programming. So there is help, and there is assistance, and there's life after trauma, after heartache, because in order to forgive a person has to do something to you that requires forgiving, and there's life after that. All right, Jackie, thank you so much for calling in.
No problem. Thank you.
Hugs and kisses.
I know.
All right, so everyone, let me turn down this light. It's going to be so bright in my face. All right, so listen, thank you everybody for coming through. Like I said, this is my book. These are the affirmations that I said when I was living in my car during the most trying time in my life, and I didn't know how I was going to get out, because life delivers you more of what it is that you have. And if you are in a traumatic situation, it seems like life continues to deliver more trauma, and you have to create that shift. And this book was the shift that I needed to be able to get out of that situation, continue to rise, follow my dream, and be living in an existence that is happier, more fulfilled than I ever could have imagined it would be. So this book right here is called The Book of Affirmation Self-Love. These are full color pages that all you have to do is rewrite the affirmations. Some of the pages have workbook spots for you to write out some other stuff. This is my personal book right here. And somebody's asking, did I go to school for counseling? I was a psychology major in college, and I have my degree in media arts, and I am a life coach and a certified clinical hypnotherapist. And so I wrote these affirmations to be, in a way, hypnotherapeutic for you to be able to create that shift. All you have to do is rewrite them. That's it. That's it. All you have to do is rewrite them. And the book is $20 on Amazon. And that is that. So listen, thank you. I appreciate all of you coming out right here. So listen, so somebody is saying, so Geronimo is saying, so that's a no, right? Tanisha is asking, did you go to school for counseling? I was a psych major. And the way things are going right now, so I don't know how many of you out there know it, but Google is disrupting the whole college university industry, where they are attempting to make it irrelevant to even have a degree. So they are doing certifications because the way it's going on out here nowadays, school has become a mill where you go in and pay this exorbitant amount of money for a piece of paper, when really you get out what it is that you put into school. And so I listen, I remember when I went to business school, I did like a semester of this very prominent business school. And when I went to the business school, I was really surprised at how much I already knew from just running a business. You know what I mean? How much I had already known, how far ahead of the people I were. And it's so like the people who were going to get this degree, most of them were corporate people who were hoping to learn how to run a business when I had been in the school of hard knocks, you know, running a business since I was 13. So when you have a passion and when you have an interest, right? It's important for you to explore those passions and interests, and you'll see how far it is that you can get and go. All right. So listen, I love you all very much. I see Leslina's in here. You all have been on for 3 hours with me. My butt is flattening out on this seat. We had some good jokes. Yeah, we had some good jokes with Ivana. I love you so much, Ivana. Well, what did I help you out with, Ivana? I didn't realize that I had helped you so much, but please enlighten. I love you too, Habisha. I remember I was on this live broadcast earlier today, and I felt so sad that the people in the broadcast was not acknowledging the comments. So I try to acknowledge people's comments. So, Worcestershire sauce. They say people can't say Worcestershire. Welcome, everybody, and I appreciate all of you coming out. Good night, good night, good night. I'm going to jump into the shower, and I'm going to have me a good evening. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to be reading tarot all day tomorrow during the day, and going from there. So I appreciate all of you coming out. I'm going to be dyeing my hair back blonde again because it's almost time to get back on the road. Hey, Nikki, Myla, and let's see, piece of candy. I help Ivana with her mathematics. Listen, somebody need to help her with that math. Somebody need to help her with that math. How long have I been doing tarot? I think, you know what? I after my near-death experience in 2007, I started receiving messages from just clear sentient messages, and I actually started using tarot about 2 or 3 years ago to help me put the images, to help me organize the images. So the tarot comes up, and I use the tarot as a way to assist people in getting answers And so because I'm clairsentient and at times clairvoyant. So I see images and sometimes I see stuff into the future. Sometimes I astral travel. Oh my goodness, some bug is flying around. So no, I'm going to be reading tarot privately tomorrow. So whenever I do the public sessions, you know, people end up booking and booking and booking some sort of little bug. It looks like a gnat. Oh. Oh, so Ivana's saying you helped me on my self-love journey. I left him and leveled up. Yes. So let me go ahead and block someone right now because I don't like BS. You know what I mean? I don't like foolishness and effery. You know, like when you come to my channel, come correct. Come correct. Come correct. How sweet. Yes, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. I truly believe that. I believe that sometimes in the moment, we can't see why something is happening, but it all happens. Just like I said, I lived in my car for a year. For a year, I was in this struggle and things just kept getting worse and worse. And I just kept getting broken further and further down. And it was so hard. And I was financially insecure. I was food insecure. And I understood, because, you know, my self-love has always been pretty high. But I understood insecurity for the first time when I was unsure about how I would eat, what I would do for money, how I would get out of that situation. That's why it was important for me to do these affirmations. These affirmations changed my life. It's like, you know how they talk about being of sound mind? When you are of abundant mind, you can do anything. But when your mind is really focused on issues and problems and you can't see your way out, it just produces more of that. So this is the book right here. Oh, wow. So Habisha says, I have my dream life because of the affirmations. It's not a joke, y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Danielle, no need to call out these people's names. That person is blocked. So they're gone. They're gone. I love you all very much. Yes, the book really does work. I can't say it enough. I do not do Orisha readings. I do not. I only do I speak to people's guides and guardian angels and just give them messages from them. That's pretty much what I do. Help people navigate how to create the future that they want from information that's given from their own guides and guardian angels. So somebody's saying I should do my hair platinum blonde. I don't have a platinum blonde kit. But you know what? I should do it platinum blonde. I should. Because you know what? I wanted to do it platinum blonde and get finger waves. I wanted to have platinum finger waves. But I don't know if that, but you know what? Now is the perfect time to do it because I have all of this virgin hair. Like all of my other hair broke off. So I just have this. This is all pandemic growth right there. And now we're getting ready to shift out of the pandemic. And there's a part of me that feels really sad shifting out of the pandemic. There's a part of me that feels really sad. Oh, wow. Okay, Ivana. Has it been that long that we've been talking, Ivana? It's been 2 years? You're welcome, Lady Flawless. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you all for coming through. I'm going to jump in the shower because I'm hot. I'm sweaty. Did I miss New York? I'm in New York right now. I did miss New York when I was gone, but you know what? Listen, my life is on the open road. You know, listen, I'll say this before I get out of the video, and this is for all my young people, especially since we have Ivana in the room and other young people, right? You know, if you're going to get into a relationship, right? Get into your relationships young, when you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, because the longer you live, And the more cynical you get, it's just the more difficult it becomes, the more set you become in your ways, the more set men become in their ways. And also their penises, they lose rigidity. This video will not be monetized. Their penises go through midlife crises. Yes, they do. Their penises just are not the same. And men change. You know, like when men are young, men pursue because they have that sex drive. You know, but once they get older, they don't really have the sex drive or the pursuit. Look, I'm trying to tell the truth to you all. I'm trying to tell the truth. They don't really have the same sex drive that they had when they were younger. Like a lot of the pursuit that men do, they do because they have something to prove to themselves. They want to conquer. They want to this. They want to that. After a while, no, 23 is perfect. 23 is perfect. I'm gonna say, look, if you have not found your man by what age? What age are we going to give? If you have not found your man by the time that he is 40, just go pack yourself a lunchbox, a knapsack, and just go hit the road, goddamn, because it. I'm sorry. Over the age of 35, their testosterone. Let me turn back up the light for this. No, this is Tonya After Dark. This is, you know what? We should go out and come back in. We should go out and come back in. If you're in your 20s and you're thinking about dating a man in his 40s or above, you're dating a man who is delusional. But look, if he got money, do you, boo, do you. But you have a man who hasn't, there's adjustment issues. Because you're talking about the difference between somebody who listens to Fetty Wap and somebody who listens to, or who did the real WAP. They was out there like this. Listen, there's a big generational gap. You know what I'm saying? You can do whatever it is you want to do. Date whoever you want to date. But just know, if there's a 50-year-old man looking for a woman in his 20s, this man, it's like, I would question it. And it's just like, ugh. I remember when I was in my 20s, even 10 years was a lot. It's a whole different generation of music, a whole different temperament. The energy is different. I can't even imagine 20 years. 20 years, you're in your 20s, you're in college. In 50s, he's 15 years away from retirement. You're talking about a person who's now having to plan for not working anymore. There's two different spaces in life. So it's you have to. So Alanis is saying these young guys are trifling, so I'm gonna stay single. Listen, it's hard out. It's difficult out here. It's difficult, and it's difficult because society has changed, right? Society has changed. There once upon a time was a time where a man used to be able to get a job, and his job could buy a house and take care of a family on his singular income. But things have changed. Men don't really have that breadwinner role anymore, right? For the most part, they don't have that breadwinner role anymore. If you find yourself a breadwinner, that's cool, but women have already entered the workforce. And women, like in other societies, in Korea, in Japan, in other societies where we have been in this toxic masculine. I feel like we talking too much. I feel like we talking too much right now. I'm just gonna say this and we're gonna get out of here, right? We have not really socialized men to explore their worth and their contribution as human beings, right? Oh Lord, 32,000 talk about his wife don't work. Oh. So listen, life has changed and women have been getting the short end of the stick for too long. And they're realizing, first of all, the surveys are all the same. Men benefit more from marriage than women do. A woman's lifespan decreases, a man's lifespan increases. And women just haven't really been benefiting really from marriage. You know, they're able to raise children on their own and just co-parent if they choose to or whatnot, or they're able to really go out there and live lives. You know, people talk about this biological clock being a bad thing, but a biological clock is a wonderful thing for society. Because if women did not have biological clocks, there would be far less children on this earth, far less children, because a woman wouldn't stop. She would just go out traveling, tasting wine in France, eating spaghetti in Italy, with all these Italian hot boys in their muscles, and going up to Morocco and having some Moroccan nights, going over to the Seychelles or France or Madrid and dancing with the skirt and the rose in your mouth. And women wouldn't stop. Because, you know what, listen, I'm gonna do one last video. We're just gonna do one last video, okay? We're gonna end this one and we're gonna come back and we're gonna do a Tonya After Dark. I don't know if we're gonna keep the next video, all right? We're gonna end this, come right back for a Tonya After Dark, and we're gonna get into the real truth, okay? Are you all ready for the truth about dating and relationships and sex and all that other stuff? If you're ready for that, then let's go and do a Tonya After Dark. Give me 2 minutes. I need to go fill up so I can hydrate myself. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the real deal about dating. And we're going to talk about the true nature of men, and the lowered vibration thereof, and how it behooves many women to not couple. You know, it's like when I have a big video that I need to do, I'll interview men and they'll give me honest answers because I'm interviewing them. And, you know, and I life coach men. And so many of you all have been tricked. You've been tricked into believing a effing fantasy that does not effing exist. And if you want to know the true nature of men, look at how men behave when they date other men. And you'll see how they would do you if you allowed them to. So what we're going to do, thumbs up this video, thumbs up. There's only 97 thumbs up. Go ahead and thumbs up this video. Thumbs up this video. And I'm going to take a 2-minute break. We're going to go. I'm going to get something to drink. And we're coming back for Tonya TKO After Dark. And we're going to talk about the real deal about relationships from an older woman that some of you need to hear. All right? All right. We'll see. We'll talk in a bit. Bye.